Let's get started, everybody. Are you ready to get started here? Welcome to the webinar. This is Dr. Rob Marvenko, the Lazy Doctor. And today I'm going to show you how to flood your office with new patients who need your care without wasting money, time, and having to wait forever for results. So how to flood your office with new patients who need your care without wasting money, time, and waiting forever for results. Now, I'm guessing a lot of you, it's not the first time you've done this, not your first webinar about getting more new patients. Am I right? It's definitely not my first. I've been exactly where you guys are. The first thing I want to mention is that if you failed at getting new patients in the past, it's not your fault. I failed a bunch of times myself. There's a lot of information, a lot of scams out there, a lot of people telling you that they can do things that are not true, and it can be very, very confusing. I know. I was sitting right where you are, very confused myself. Many times it really stops you from moving forward, and it keeps you from success. I know what you're going through, and I just want to let you know that it's okay. If you've been concerned in the past that you just can't get enough new patients for your office, I want to put those fears to rest today. You can. You just need the right person to explain it to you, and I am going to be that person for you today. You know, the traditional medical approach to what we can help people with, it's driven by pharmaceutical companies, and I don't have to tell you guys, they have billions and billions of dollars. So although this competition between us and them sometimes seems unfair, with the approach that I'm about to show you, we can still win. Sounds great, doesn't it? And if you've ever thought that traditional marketing companies just want your money and they don't care about your results, well, you're probably right. They're not passionate about helping potential patients find the best chiropractors out there. They don't have any understanding of what we do. The difference with me is that I actually care about your success, and I truly want to spread chiropractic to as many people as I possibly can. And I actually care about your success with this program. So that's what I'm about. I'm a chiropractor. I have 3 of my own offices that I need new patients in as well. So I do have a vested interest here in this program, what we're going to be going over. So that's what we're here for, right? More new patients. I know you have a dream to help as many people in your community as you possibly can, make a big impact, and I want to show you how to make that happen during this webinar. So let me share with you my goals during this presentation today. It's for those who are lacking new patients, and this situation is really creating a problem with the amount of money that you're able to generate for your office. You'll get the confidence and the tools to rectify this situation for yourself right away. And it's for the more experienced doctors who already have successful new patient programs running, and they just want more. This will give you the ability to really blow the doors off things. So that's what we're going to go over. Just a few housekeeping things. Again, welcome to the webinar. There is a chat box over there. I think it's on the right side. You can type in there. So welcome. I see there's a couple people, Jason, Bradley, Anthony, Dr. T, Chris, and Steve. I'd just like to make a check and just put in the chat box, hi, if you can hear me and you see the slides and everything is cool on your end. Just go ahead and put in the chat box, hi. So let's get back to it. The only way for you to get tons of new patients fast with social media is through 4-point social media marketing. And the only way to get 4-point social media marketing is through the Lazy Doctor. So I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Rob Marvenko. I'm a chiropractor, which a lot of you already know. I have 3 of my own offices. 2 are in my hometown in Baltimore, Maryland, and 1 is here in Florida in St. Petersburg, where I live currently. And yes, it has been super hot. The temperatures are getting really hot, so humid. You can always find air conditioning here, but I would rather be too hot than too cold. So from social media, we are getting 4 to 7 new patients a week for each of my offices and for a lot of other doctors that I'm working with. Now, what I'm about to share with you is the primary way I get new patients into 3 offices. This system is where the majority of my new business comes from. Does this sound like something that you want to learn? I'm sure it does. It works so well, I was able to extract myself from my 3 own offices so I can now work full-time helping doctors like you achieve the same thing. Now, I just want to share a little bit about my past with you here. As a kid growing up, I always wanted to help people. Being interested in the health field, the first thing that actually came to mind was doing something in a hospital, believe it or not. I actually loved hospitals. Now, when I discovered that hospitals weren't actually fixing problems, but actually just perpetuating diseases, I no longer wanted anything to do with them. Couldn't get me near them, and I don't want to be there myself as well. I remember clearly when I was in my 20s, something like that, like 23, 24, something like that, I was visiting a chiropractor's home. And I thought, this is what I want to be. I always had envisioned myself as being very successful with lots of nice things. I wanted to have a wife, my family, and I wanted to be able to have what I wanted when I wanted it. So off to chiropractic school I went. I graduated, opening up my own practice there. I was a good chiropractor, but I knew very little about getting new patients. They don't teach you this here in chiropractic school. I'm sure you guys know that. I found myself struggling, with the information that was available to me because the variety, there was so much confusion about it. What worked and really what was affordable, what was affordable means to get new patients. I thought that after leaving school, I'd be set. I didn't anticipate how difficult it would be, working lots of hours, missing out on lots of weekends with my family because of the amount of time I was spending on getting new customers was not my definition of success. I was stressed out. I was disappointed, with how my career was going at that point. And I'm sure you guys can relate to this. Now, the new patients just weren't coming in. My operating costs were rapidly increasing at this point. I wasn't paying myself enough, and I forced myself to accept the fact that people weren't just going to find me. I have to go out and get them. So I'd have to do things in the community, roll up my sleeves, rustle up some new ones. I found myself working very hard to try to get new patients, and it really sucked. Nothing was consistent at all. I'm sure you guys, can agree with me here. One idea works for a while, right? And then, that idea dries up and you're back to reinventing the wheel all over again. Some ideas produce no new patients at all, and then you go deeper and deeper into the hole. Well, then a doctor told me, they said, how many patients they were getting on social media. And I was in disbelief. Yeah, right. That's what I said. Yeah, right. Social media is just where people post pictures of what they ate that day, cute babies, pictures of their pets, crap like that. I was very skeptical. I talked to other doctors and they agreed with me. They said, yeah, social media does not work. It doesn't bring in new patients. But, I couldn't get that doctor out of my head. And I'm a risk taker. I told, I was thinking about how many patients he was telling me he was getting. So I was thinking about it and I said, what the heck? I'm going to go for it. What do I have to lose? Just more money, right? I've wasted it in the past. So what I did is I hired a company to run social media ads for my office. Well, like I said, I was skeptical and I was really prepared to lose money at this time. But magically, for some reason, it worked. People were responding. It started to produce people in my area that needed my service. My new patients increased for my practice at this point, and I was making more money. And I finally got to the point where I could spend time on the weekends with my family and do the things that I wanted to do. And this was exciting for me. I was happy about it at this point, but it did confuse me. Why did it work for me so well, but not with other doctors? So many doctors, it doesn't work. So I had to find out why this was. I started analyzing what I was doing in my offices compared to other offices. And that's when it hit me. I spotted some very specific things that I was doing that they were not doing. I narrowed it down to 4 vital things that I was doing. And these were the things that any office can do and should be doing, but they just weren't. I call it 4-point social media marketing. These 4 things were the make-break point between being successful and not. And we'll cover some of these points in a bit. My office flourished for years. I eventually sold it in a great situation. And after that, I decided to make it my life's mission to help other doctors have successful offices and spread chiropractic as far as I possibly could. And that's why I'm doing this. At first, I thought my desire was to build my own practice and be super successful. But deep inside, I discovered my true goal was I always wanted to help more and more people find chiropractic. Now I'm working for a lot of doctors like you. Now, you guys might not want to run multiple offices and get into the consulting business like me, but I'm sure a regular flow of new patients looks pretty pleasing. I've been exactly where you are, spending money and my valuable time on getting new patients, not knowing what works and what doesn't, and have come up short over and over again, consistently getting new patients that's affordable for your office is a headache that never seems to go away, right? Teddy bears in my trunk. I did it all, taking donuts to auto body shops. Yes, I am ashamed, but when I looked at 4-Point social media marketing and how it was flooding my office with new patients, I knew that other doctors could learn how to do it. Now, I'm sure you guys are out there, Anthony, Bradley, help me out here, share with me, say, yeah, me too. If you guys, understand what I'm talking about, these things that we do and we get ourselves into to get new patients, but it's really something that's detrimental, to our practices. But not only did it work for me, but here's a story I want to share with you. This is Dr. Impastato. He experienced the same thing. When I got a hold of him, he was very skeptical, just like I was. He didn't believe it could work either. We started running the program in his office. We applied the techniques that we are going to go over here today, and his office doubled. Check out what he has to say here in this video that he shares with me.
Well, you're absolutely right in what you said, because prior to getting with you and the Lazy Doctor, a friend of mine had told me about you. Of course, I was skeptical because I had just went through a 6-month program with somebody. I did hire a Facebook marketer, and I was in a 6-month contract with him. Mm-hmm. And after spending thousands of dollars and 6 months of time going by, literally not one single lead came in.
Wow.
So obviously I was really disappointed and, even doubting that Facebook could even work. Mm-hmm. So when a friend of mine had told me about you, of course I was skeptical because I had just went through a 6-month program with somebody who supposedly could bring patients in from Facebook. But he said it was working for him. And I said, okay, well, one thing's for sure. I definitely believe that you don't give up. You keep trying till you find something that works. Mm-hmm. And we're at the 1-year anniversary right now, and it's been working great ever since. Yeah. And what I did like about it is that from the very beginning, the leads started coming in from day one, almost minute one. You get 10 this week, maybe 15 the next week. Mm-hmm. But it's a bit of a building process. But it literally has doubled my practice in 1 year's time. Actually, less than 1 year's time.
Wow.
All right, guys. So can you imagine this happening in your office? So here's what we're going to cover in the rest of the webinar here today. Secret number 1, how to generate lots of new patients without giving your services away. Secret number 2, how to automate getting new patients using 4-Point social media marketing so you can do those things in practice that you love. And then secret number 3 is how to get people to pay for your services and not blame the lack of insurance coverage. All right, so let's get started here with secret number 1, how to generate lots of paying customers without giving your services away. Now, I want to tell you a quick story here. I'm sure you guys have all experienced this. Free exams, free consultations, free this, free that. I remember thinking to myself, why am I giving away my services? Nobody else is. Am I right? This kind of come on is all the rage. And in my opinion, it really belittles us as chiropractors. I remember falling into the same trap. I would go out to a fair or a patient event and sign up lots of people for a free exam. So there I was sitting, waiting for those patients to come in for their free exam. Now, this was such a waste of time. And until I realized how valuable my time was, I continued to frustrate myself standing out there, with these offers and generating patients like this. I can recall spinal screenings I was doing, on hot summer days. I was standing out there in the dead of summer, sweating my ass off and giving my services away. People coming up to me with half empty glasses of beer and, saying, hey, what are you offering? But I didn't care at that point. I just wanted to get more new patients, into my office, more appointments. And that's, how I would spend my day. Please, someone out there, tell me you did this too. Make me feel better. I really thought that this was what I had to do to keep my office busy. I just resigned myself to the idea that this is what works. Me standing out there, passing out giveaways while people walk by with booze and candy apples. Well, thank God, here comes social media, Facebook and stuff like that. I thought this could be a game changer. Social media is where I saw me getting my information about what I do in front of a large amount of people. And it saved me a lot of time and energy. But I didn't want to just put another free offer up there like I was seeing others do, because I knew that that wasn't going to produce a motivated patient. So I started to design offers that people would pay for. It took me time, but after a lot of trial and error, I got it fine-tuned, and that's when my new patient numbers really increased, and I was getting paid and not giving things away at this point. I felt like I cracked the code. It was so exciting for me, when this started to happen, because I could see it was a game changer. This discovery is now one of the most important points of 4-point social media marketing, getting people to pay to see you without standing out there in the hot sun every single weekend. So after this, I finally realized that I didn't have to put up with the constant struggle of new business. And this helped me see that what I set out for in the beginning was possible, a successful business that people would gravitate to with a lot of stress. Now, the cool thing is it didn't just work for me. It works for all kinds of doctors. So here's Dr. Frank Anderson. He shares with you what's going on in his office with the program. He always thought that getting new patients had to be a struggle. But after he took the leap of faith and tried these systems, we'll go ahead and check out his video, and he's going to tell you what happened.
The first thing I want to say is that, I always thought I was going to do all the marketing on my own. I was the type of guy that I would get offers from other people to do Facebook advertising. And I never did it because I said, I'll do it on my own. And I bought all these courses and thought, yeah, I'm going to learn how to do that. And you know what happened? Months and months went by. It turned into years and I never did it. So I never got any leads in the door. So the first thing I want to say is that it's been a pleasure not to have to worry about where the new next client is coming from, just to know that somebody else is handling that for me and watching the metrics and making sure that the ad is running correctly. Right. You have to have balance in your life. And one of the great things now is that I'm able to take off when I want to take off, and I have staff in place and your services and your team in place that I don't have to worry about it every day, where, what I have to do for Facebook or for advertising. Yeah. But you have to see this Facebook marketing and all your marketing as a return on investment. It's going to bring you back money. I mean, I wouldn't want to hire a staff member that wasn't going to produce for me and bring in new revenue, because that's just an expense. So if you're going to spend money on advertising, and like I am with your program, you write that check every month, but you're making money back because of it, sometimes 6 or 8 folds.
All right. So would you like to be our next case study? I'm always working with doctors, and I always say, you could be the next case study that we work with. Now, you're probably thinking social media gets lots of leads, but no new patients, right? Well, I talk to 10 to 15 doctors every week, and I've heard this story as well myself. You heard what Dr. Impastato said in his video. He tried a system for 6 months and spent lots of money and got no new patients. The truth is, when you use a system like we've discovered and apply it to the power of social media, leads become new patients. He doubled his practice in just a year, like you heard him say. So right now, you could be thinking social media produces patients that aren't really interested. I have the program running in 3 of my own offices. I've just started to collect success stories from those patients that came from Facebook. These stories that they are sharing are so inspiring. I love success stories in general, but when they state at the end that they wouldn't have found us if it wasn't for Facebook, I know that the above is completely false. Social media continually produces those people in your area that need your care. I was just talking to my office manager this morning, as a matter of fact, and she said, man, Facebook is on fire. We had 5 new patients last week from, that source. So it's exciting. It is. It's really exciting. I'm sure a lot of you have heard this, though. Social media produces a lot of people that make appointments but don't show up. Am I right? We as chiropractors have been dealing with leads way before Facebook ever came around. I remember in my practice going out to a fair on the weekend, getting tons of people signed up to come in for appointments until I learned and applied the things that I'm applying now in 4-point social media marketing. Well, I would have problem with no-shows also as well. Doesn't matter where you find new patients. If you apply the tools that we've developed, you will get patients to show up in your office and they will be a chiropractic patient. All right, now I've shown you how to harness social media as your new patient generating machine and get them to pay to see you. What do you think? Pretty amazing stuff, isn't it? I don't use all those free giveaways. These people pay to come to see you. Isn't that cool? Now, this brings us to secret number 2, how to automate getting new patients using 4-point social media marketing so you can do those things in practice that you love to do. Now, I'm sure you guys understand, and girls out there understand there are pros and cons to practicing with your wife. One thing that I discovered, or spouse, one thing that I discovered was there were things that she was actually great at, and I was glad that she was great at those things because I didn't want to do them. Well, when I set out to be a successful chiropractor, I really didn't want to depend on someone, but I found that when I was practicing, I was leaving all the marketing up to her. When I first set out on this journey, it was only me, and I felt that I had something to prove. I was self-conscious. When I got in front of people and had to grab their attention in the middle of health fair to get them to come in as a patient, it just wasn't my strong point. I felt as though I wasn't prepared for this in chiropractic school. I didn't get any classes or training on this. So there I was running a practice and leaving all the marketing up to my wife. So in order for me to feel good about myself and making it as a chiropractor, I had to force myself to get out there and meet people. So I started to volunteer for those Saturdays, standing out some weekend fair, telling people about chiropractic. Now, this was good for me because I felt like I was gaining more control over, what every successful business needs, right? More new customers. You've heard this before, right? So I figured since this worked, I would just do this on a regular basis. But after a while, I got tired of working every weekend, setting up tents, trying to look professional when it's 90 degrees outside. What I realized with doing that was that there were a lot of people out there that were interested in what we do. I tell you, it seemed like 8 out of 10 people had a chiropractic problem. It just took a lot of time and a lot of my energy and a lot of my sweat to get them in. You can see my problem here, right? So I kept this up for as long as I could because new patients is a bloodline of any practice. I found myself in some odd places peddling chiropractic care. I remember even going home with a pocket full of potential patients, but not feeling, really good about myself and how I spent the day. When I first discovered the internet, I always knew that one day it would work for me. So I could be enjoying my weekends with my family while it was getting the job done automatically. The internet is completely digital. You can automate pretty much anything. If only I could create a system that used the internet to automatically get new patients, I would be set, right? As a chiropractor, finding new patients is our biggest problem. Am I right? And during the first half of my career, I was faced with this struggle. I would spend my time and energy finding new patients, always focused on that, and then care for them. And before you know it, the new patients would dry up again. And then I would go to the next thing of how I would get, new patients in my office. I'm sure you can identify with this, right? It was always my responsibility and it fell on my shoulders, getting these new patients. So when I discovered 4-point social media, this is when things really changed because it was internet based. The possibility of automated procedures to get new patients was there. I got to work building this machine. Talk about confusing. I tell you, this stuff is very confusing. There were thousands of tools out there. Each did, certain things, a piece of what I wanted, but none of them did it all. So it took months and it was not fun. But I, finally found out the right combination of what tools to use. Where things, really started to come together is when I started using these tools. And that's when things really started happening for me. I got it working from my office. And I tell you, the foot never came off the gas pedal. And it's very exciting, isn't it? The machine was built and it was cranking out new patients, and even someone like me, who is not a tech-savvy guy, can use it. The worry and constant attention on new patients was gone. It was consistent and it was automated. Now, you can imagine how I felt. My biggest problem as a chiropractor was resolved, and I finally had more time to focus on those things in practice that I love to do. You can see the relief that I had here, right? We as chiropractors have been struggling with this for a long time, and it does seem impossible that we could, have this going on in our office as far as constant new patients. And you can do it. You can do this. And that's because of social media and the procedures of 4-point social media marketing that we have. Now, I talk to a lot of chiropractors that want to expand, and whether it's just a bigger office that collects more, or if you have goals for multiple locations, you're here. You want to expand, right? The thing that is stopping expansion is a constant flow of new business, period. Now, the cool thing is, it didn't just work for me. Here are some things that other doctors are saying that we are working with. People share with me success all the time. It's very exciting because I like what I do, and I like helping more and more people find chiropractors. But, these doctors are saying sold about 6,000 in care plans. It was the craziest day I ever had in my office. And this is from the 4-point social media ads. My numbers have skyrocketed, and we've hired more staff to meet our growing needs. Oh my God, it's been an awesome week this week. 19 new patients last week, signed up another $27 lead for a $2,000 program. This is what doctors are saying about the program. So let's move on. Secret number 3, how to get people to pay for your services and not blame the lack of insurance coverage. Now, I got something I want to share with you real quick. I think we can all relate to the struggle of finding that perfect, profitable piece of equipment for our offices, right? I remember going to a seminar, and somebody in the back at one of the tables was telling me that if I invested $13,000 in this range of motion machine, I would instantly start receiving reimbursements from insurance companies. And I thought I had the answer. I ran back home and I said, "Hey, honey, our worries are over. I have the answer that's going to, really start to generate income." As a business owner, I was always trying to remain profitable. So I had my eyes out there and open for those things that would first help my patients. I did, have that. It had to help my patients, but also produce a good amount of income. I'm sure you all have been there, right? This piece of equipment was super cool. You held these two handheld instruments, and they were wireless. And at that time, wireless things were really cool. But it recorded range of motion. There was adapters, all kinds of stuff came in this black briefcase, and it was something out of like the movie Men in Black or something. It was super cool. And, I charged it. I just pulled out my card, cha-ching. Yeah, I'll take one. And it was at my office, real quick. So I was new in practice. I didn't have the best business skills. I was making some money, but I wasn't as successful as I wanted to be. And being in a position of depending on my parents for a long period of time and making the big investment of time and money to be successful as a chiropractor, failure was no longer an option. 30, living at home, no way, it wasn't going to happen. Well, I got the machine. Insurance companies always change their rules, right? I'm sure you guys know where this story's going. Nobody out there likes insurance companies, right? So after I bought the machine, learned how to use it, and finally implemented it, the denials, they started to pile up on me. I was sick. I didn't even pay for the damn thing yet. I worked really hard at trying to get this machine profitable for my office, but finally I discovered it wasn't what everybody promised me it would be. But, I didn't give up. I started to figure out this internet thing at this point. If I could figure out how to write an ad that produced a patient from the internet that would pay me, that's what I needed to do. So I looked at what other doctors were doing and what marketers were saying. I tested wording. I tested different pictures. Most things actually didn't work. And if you think this happened overnight, you're crazy. But with time, though, I got the wording just right. So when somebody clicked on my ad, I knew I would be making money. It's the very thing that most marketers don't know how to do, writing effective ad copy. And it's one thing of the 4-point social media marketing that we do. That's when I really started to see my office expand. This is where I really started to expand on my ideas and things that I wanted to do professionally, like helping other doctors. So let me show you what the doctors that we are working with are saying. So a lot of doctors that we are working with share the success. And so, as you know, I went with another company. Unfortunately, in 2 months, the results have not been good. Let's chat when you have some time. And we started the doctor up on our program. The system is working really well. I like it. It's producing for me. Converting almost everyone into a new patient. Your program works like magic, my friend. So this is what some of the doctors, like I say, we're working for over 40 doctors that are talking about. So I know what you're thinking out there. Social media marketing requires an investment of time, and it's only me. I don't have the time. So as a practice owner for 20 years, doctors, I had many opportunities to discover where my focus should be. And I want to share this with you. I never wasted time when I focused on new patients, never. I did discover that anytime you can get in front of a large amount of people, it's profitable to put my message there, right? So right now, there's no better place than social media for your message. Now, you also may be thinking, if I take a risk, I could come up empty-handed and I could look bad. I'm sure you can relate to this. I always thought that if I advertised on television, I just thought my phones, they are going to ring off the hook. I'm going to have to hire people to answer phones. You know, it's going to be like a telethon in my office. So one of my patients worked for a station, and he sold me on this TV commercial that cost me over $10,000. I tell you, I lost track of it. It was so much to get it up and running. He promised me, he said, "This is what I need to resolve my problem, Dr. Rob. You get on TV, boy, and, you know, people are going to come from all over the place to see you." Well, when it was all over, I spent over $10,000, and I still was looking for something to generate new patients that was cost effective. I discovered that TV was not it. I just continued to spend more and more money without results. I look back on this now, and I know it was exactly these failures that continued my journey to find what I found in 4-point social media marketing. So now I've shown you how to cut to the chase and pick those new patient systems that are profitable without wasting time and money. Isn't this awesome? Now, I know you're thinking, doctors will tell me this, social media can produce a lot of people, but they don't have the money, right? Well, as you heard on the success stories and the videos above that doctors have shared with us here, these ads have changed their lives. They've changed their offices. They are producing more income in their practices than they ever thought was possible. So social media does produce patients that have money. So let me ask you a question. If you followed what I showed you in secret number 1 and you harness social media as your new patient generating machine, then you did what I showed you in secret number 2 and you cut to the chase and created offers that were profitable without wasting time and money. And then you used secret number 3 that gave you the automated procedures in 4-point social media marketing that brought new patients in the door. Do you think you could be successful? Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you out there are excited about what we just talked about, and you're ready to just jump out there and get going? And then how many of you are feeling a little overwhelmed because we've covered so much? Now, it's really impossible to show you everything that you will need to get results in just this short 40-minute presentation, but I've tried to cover as much as I possibly could here. I created a special package for those of you that are ready to move forward and want to implement this new opportunity. Is it okay with you if I spend just about 10 minutes going over a very special offer I created to help you implement 4-point social media marketing? So here is what our system consists of, the 4-point social media marketing program. I also want to go back and I want to make sure you realize who this is actually for. Not only is it for people who are just starting their practices, have no new patient programs, but also it's for those larger practices who are ready to really blow the doors off things and really want to scale. Now, you might be thinking you can't get started with this because it's not going to produce new patients that want to pay for your care. Well, here's why that's a mistake that would hold you back from success. Social media is the best way to get your message in front of as many people as possible. And we target those who have conditions that you treat and have the ability to pay. A percentage of these people even schedule themselves. This is great, right? So you are ready to get started with this, right? Now, when you sign up today, you're going to get access to our 4-point social media marketing system for your practice. It's a total value of $2,600 for 1 month of service. As a part of this package, you're going to get access to our weekly marketing training call that we do every week for our offices. This is where I'm going to be in touch with you or your staff or both on a weekly basis, so they know the techniques and they know the skills involved that I've been using in my offices and have been so successful with to get new patients arrived. This also includes the exact scripting that I've been using in my own offices as a downloadable PDF. Now, when you have this tool, you'll be able to focus on what you do best, which is treating the patients. You'll also be able to get rid of the constant focus on where your new patients are coming from and have to train your staff yourself to get those patients arrived. And this is what we need more of, right, doctors? More new patients, right? When I figured this stuff out, I discovered that well-trained staff was a very important piece of getting the most out of the program. So I had to create this tool for myself, and now I can pass it on to you. When I discovered that staff training was necessary, I had to spend a lot of time and a lot of money to develop an efficient way to not only get my staff trained to do this, but also constantly develop the tools that they could use to get better and better results. But I don't want you to have to reinvent the wheel here. I've already gotten proven results with this training, and I'm just going to include it here with this package. Sounds cool? Now, when you use these training tools, not only do you save the time and money I spent to develop it, but you also save what could be months or years of wasted time and money because you'll be doing it right the very first time. You know, there's no trial and error period here. We don't have time for that as a business owner. I'm sure you agree. You might be thinking this is going to be very difficult for me to get this in, my staff to follow these directions. But that's why I created these easy scripts for them to follow. That's why I do the training every week. So it does make them successful. So what you're going to get is you're going to get 4-point social media marketing here today, $2,600 value, and the staff training that I just spoke about. It's a $1,700 value. The total value of the package is $4,300. And when you invest today, you're also going to get access to our self-scheduling program as an extra added benefit. Now, let me explain what this is. These patients will actually schedule themselves for an appointment with your office, and we set up all the automation and the links so this happens seamlessly. I had to go through a lot of trial and error to finally get this up and running in my office. At first, I didn't know how to get a patient to actually schedule themselves. I thought if a person identified themselves as someone with a problem, that it would be easy to get them in as a patient. But after lots of time, lots of money, and lots of programs, we figured out how to set up the automation so they would schedule themselves. So you don't have to. And we include this in your program as a special bonus here today. Now, this bonus is going to make it faster. It's going to make it easier for you to get patients scheduled to come into your office. How? Because it does it automatically. You get notifications of when people want to come in, the time, the day, and you can see this as a big plus, right? Now, you may be thinking, doctor, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the time to investigate and figure out how this technology works. But that's why we do it for you. We've done all the investigating. We know how this technology works. There's absolutely nothing that you have to learn or understand. We just get it set up for you. So what you're going to get is you're going to get the 4-point social media marketing. It's a $2,600 value. The staff training that I spoke about coming from me. Like I say, I run 3 of my own offices on this, and I want to help your offices too. And it's a $1,700 value. The self-scheduling that I just spoke about, that's included. It's a $1,500 value. The total value of the package is $5,800. Now, also, when you invest today, you're going to get access to our complete support program, which will help you with any questions that come up for you or your staff. This complete support program is designed so you can do what you're good at, and that is treat the patients. I know from a personal experience, running an office efficiently takes the doctor's full attention. I know that. So we include this program to handle the ads and the automation completely for you. You'll have email access, phone access, texting to technical support. I had to go through a lot of ups and downs with this running social media marketing. It took me a long time to discover these important systems, so the ads were super effective. But you won't have to, because I'm going to include this complete support system in your program today as a special bonus. Now, this bonus is going to make it easier. It's going to make it faster for you to get the product, which is more new patients into your office, because it gives you the time to focus on what you do best. And that's what we want to do in practice, right? Stuff like treating our patients. Now, you might be thinking, oh, when I need something, it's going to take days or weeks to get an answer. Well, that's not how our customer support works. We are quick, we're responsive, we talk your language, and we get you the help you need quickly. Doctors are always responding all the time. They tell me how fast we are at handling things for them, and they really appreciate it. And I tell you guys, I have to add this here because that's where I think some of the biggest value I have. I literally care about your office expanding because I care very passionately about chiropractic. So what you're going to get is you're going to get 4-point social media marketing. It's $2,600 value. The staff training, it's included in this package. $1,700 value. The self-scheduling, that automation I spoke about, it's a $1,500 value, and our complete support program, it's included. It's a $1,500 value. The total value is $7,300 for the package. Now, when you invest today, you're also going to get our offer design program consultation, where we have a consultation with the office. We're going to create offers in the ads that will find the patients that sign up for services that are actually profitable for your office. Sounds perfect, right? I had a lot of ups and downs, and I finally realized that there were certain patients that I needed to be looking for in order to make the program profitable. But you won't have to, because I'm giving you this offer design program as a special bonus. This bonus is going to make it faster and easier for you to get those patients that are profitable interested in your offer. How? Because the ads are specifically designed to attract those types of cases that you're looking for. So what you're going to get is you're going to get the 4-point social media marketing. It's a $2,600 value. You're going to get the staff training that I spoke about. It's a $1,700 value, that weekly training call that I do with your staff, the self-scheduling system, making this automated for your office. It's a $1,500 value, the complete support program, where you are able to get in touch with us, text, emails, phone calls, things like that, to ensure the success of the program. It's a $1,500 value. And then that offer design program that I talked about is included here, and it's a $1,500 value. And our setup fees are $1,500. That's included in this package. So the total value is $10,300. Now, obviously, I'm not going to charge you $10,300, but if I did charge you $10,300 and all it did was give you a completely automated digital marketing machine that brought you new patients into your office, would it be worth it? If all this system did was taught you and your office how to cut to the chase and create offers that are profitable without wasting time and money, would it be worth it? And what if all it did was automate your procedures so you can do those things you love to do in practice, like treat the patients? Would it be worth it? I know as a doctor, that's very valuable. Now, I had two choices with this. I could go as cheap as possible and try to get as many people as I possibly could sign up for this 4-point social media marketing with us. But the problem with that is I couldn't really stack on the value for you, like the personal training that we do, the personal attention that we give to building your campaigns to make them as profitable as they can be. I decided to go with this second option, which is obviously requiring a slightly higher investment on your side, but in exchange for that, we can dedicate more time, more of our energy and resources to help guarantee your success. So if you had a successful marketing program that was bringing in lots of new patients to your office consistently, and those patients were spending money with you, what would it be worth? How much would you pay to have this running in your office successfully? Now, you can probably see why people would pay $10,300 to get this program started in their office, because it's not a cost here, doctors. It's an investment. Now, remember, this is generating new customers to your business, and it's automated. So you've already seen how it's worth $10,300, which I charge the public to get started, and it's a great deal. But because you're here today, and I like working with people that take action, I'm going to give you a very special offer. So included in the offer is the 4-point social media marketing, the $2,600 value, the staff training we spoke about, $1,700 value, that weekly training call that I do with you or your staff, the self-scheduling, the automation here as far as for those people to self-schedule for these appointments. It's a $1,500 value. It's included the complete support program, where we are there to guarantee your success. It's a $1,500 value. Offer design program, coming up with those ads that are profitable for your office as a unique doctor. We do that. It's included here, $1,500 value. Our setup fees to get this all rolling is included in the package. It's a $1,500 value. The total value of the package is $10,300. Now, today, you pay only $897.50 today to get the program running. That's it, $897.50. And we're so confident in our service that we don't have you sign any contracts at all. We typically collect $17.95 a month for this, but we want to make this accessible to everyone on this call today. So we're going to give you the opportunity to split the payments up bi-weekly. So you pay $897.50 today, and we'll run the program for your office for the first 2 weeks, no contracts. This includes the ad budget also, so there are no additional charges. Sounds great, right? So to get it up and running, all you have to pay is $897.50. In the box there, you'll see in the chat box, we're going to put a button. Just go ahead and click on that to get started. It'll gather information, get your credit card for the $897.50, and then we'll set you up for an appointment as soon as possible to take the next step. So go ahead and click the button over there in the chat box to get started. Now, let me put this in perspective for you here. If you went to my regular website right now, you could start the program for $10,300 and pay individually for all these services that I just told you about, because you've invested time with me here today and you've proven that you really want to get a result. You've proven that you want to make a difference and get rid of this headache. I'm making a special offer just for you on this webinar. So at this point, doctors, you have two choices. Choice number one is you do nothing. If you do nothing with the information you've learned here today, well, what will you get? Yep, you got it, nothing. Or you can choose to take a leap of faith, just test it out, see if it'll work for you. It's okay if it doesn't work for you, because you're covered by our 30-day money-back guarantee. Test drive it for 2 weeks and you'll see that it works. We'll refund your complete admin fee if you're not completely happy with it. Now, the real question is this: is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Even if it only does a fraction of what I claim today, it will more than pay for itself. And think about all the exposure that you're going to get in your community of social media. I have doctors tell me, they'll say, I was at a restaurant and somebody said, oh, you're Dr. So-and-so. I saw you on Facebook. So we make you a chiropractic rock star for sure. So what you're going to get is you're going to get 4-point social media marketing. It's a $2,600 value. Staff training that I talked to you about, that weekly training call that I work with you and your staff. That's included here. It's $1,700 value. The self-scheduling, that automation where people can just sign up, click, and then boom, you get the appointment at your office. It's a $1,500 value. The complete support program that I spoke to you about to ensure and guarantee your success, it's a $1,500 value. It's included. The offer design program also that I went over with you about designing those ads that are profitable for your office. And we take a look at you as an individual and make sure, as far as we're advertising the right thing, that's a $1,500 value. The setup fees are included here, the $1,500. The total value of the package here today is $10,300. You pay only $897.50 today to get started, and there's no contracts. So go ahead and click the box over there to the right, get started, and put your information in. Now, also, too, I want to add something here, guys, doctors. For those of you that are live right now, and this will not be on the replay, we're going to include 6 months of our Facebook posting program. Now, when you accompany 4-Point social media marketing with regular posting on your page, this is going to increase the number of people that respond. It's kind of like a 1-2 punch. So many doctors are busy. They don't have the time to post regularly on their page. Am I right, doctors? You know your time is valuable. We come up with inspirational quotes, different positive messages about chiropractic, other unique things to engage and to increase followers of your page. The regular price on this for 6 months with all the startup fees, it's over $500. And what we're going to do is we're going to include it absolutely free. But like I said, you have to sign up now in order to get it. So click the button over there in the box to get started right now. And if you have any questions right now, please type them in the chat box. I'm available for a little bit of questioning. Right now, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in there. And you might be thinking there's a lot of people out there claiming they can do this. I'm telling you guys, I talk to doctors that have been promised success from 17-year-old kids in their parents' basement. Literally, I've talked to doctors that have been promised results from kids in the basement. We have over 30 offices. I think it's up to 40 now that we're doing this right now for. I have it running in 3 of my own offices. Like I say, I just talked to my office manager this morning, and she's telling me how great Facebook is doing as far as bringing the patients in. And you can see my invested interest in this, right? Now, I'll bet, you've been approached by marketers before. I know. I was approached all the time. You've seen these promises. You've seen these success stories. But these guys that are out there are not chiropractors who make these promises. I am. And I have a proven system that works. I'm serious. I would like you to be the next case study. I'm always excited about taking an office, working closely with them, and have them be the next case study because you can double your practice. You heard Dr. Impastato talk about, doubling his practice, and that's what we're here for. We're here for more success. So we just want to make sure, as far as that you guys understand, how important it is. And I don't have to tell you, if you're a chiropractor, you understand about new patients and the bloodline. So you could say, $897 is a lot of money, but I want to tell you this. It includes your ad budget and a portion of this money, doctors. I just want you to know you get back. A portion of this you get back. People forget about this. I mean, just last month, I got $648 back in one of my offices because people pay for the offer to come in. So I got money back in my office from this. So it's a situation where I think that's an important thing to take a look at because, you do get money back. People are paying to come see you. Like I said, these patients are paying for this. So I have a question. Let me see. Yeah, that's a great question. It was, is it just social media, just Facebook or other platforms? It is other platforms because, and I'm not the technical person on the team, but Facebook and Instagram is connected, and it is other platforms. But I just want to stress to you guys here that we do what works. We're not sitting here saying, well, we have to put ads here, here, and here. We focus on results. So the answer to your question, it is other platforms, but we are focusing on the platforms that bring the patients in. Another question, how long is the offer valid for? That's a great question. How long is the offer valid for? And I have to say it's valid and the offer is now. This is a very special discounted price. It's only available now. So if you want to get started, click it now because it's not going to be at this price after this webinar is over. If you have any questions and anything that is getting in your way for clicking it, just go ahead and ask it and I'll handle the question. But it's only available now. This isn't our regular price, like I said to you. This is for those of you that have been here on the webinar with me. You invested your time. I wanted to make a very special offer, something very valuable. And to be honest, it's a no-brainer decision here. It's $897.50 now. It's like I say, every 2 weeks, that's what we charge. It is included in your ad budget. You are not contracted to run the ads for any period of time. We base our, relationship with you on results. That is what we want to get. We want to get results. But like I say, old habits are hard to break, aren't they? I know they are hard to break. I'm trying to get to the gym, 4 times a week. But I can leave the webinar and I can enjoy the rest of my day. I can't get up out of the chair very easily because my legs are sore, but I can enjoy the rest of my day. I have this running in my offices and it is successful for me. I just reported, like I say, that my office manager was saying how great it's working. It's already working for me. But this isn't about me. This is about you. If you leave right now and you think like, hey, I learned a lot of cool stuff, my guess is by tomorrow you will have already slipped back into the old routines, right? Just doing what you've always done. That's what most people do. But because I'm here and I care about chiropractic and helping others expand and see more people, I'm going to let you go back. I'm not going to let you go back to old habits. That's why I'm here. I'm here to change those old habits. I'm going to make you successful with this and break those old habits. So if you want lasting change, you need a system like this to have a constant flow of new business into your office. And that's what we'll get when you invest today, is a constant flow of new business. That's a great question. What's the fee after the first month? Good question, doctor. And the fee is the fee. We're giving you this deal for as long as you run it in your office. If you take a break and go on vacation for 2 months, then would have to talk. But I have doctors that are working with us for 2 years now, running this program. But that is a good question, and we're going to honor that price. You start today. Click in the box, get started, pay the $897.50, and that, like I say, includes your ad budget. And whatever that is, it's like $1,700 a month, including the ad budget, and you get that price for as long as you're with us. At that price is the contracted price. So yeah, that's the deal, and it's a great one. It is a great deal for what you're going to get, all the systems and all the things that I spoke about there. Like I say, I run it in 3 of my own offices. It's successful. I hated the stuff that I was doing before for new patients. Social media is sort of a wild animal. We've tamed it. We know how to use it, and we know how to be successful with it, and we're helping lots of doctors. And again, we have a different sort of way we do this. I mean, nobody else knows exactly how to talk to staff and get staff as far as on board on all the procedures that have to be done, to get patients arrived and things like that. I have another question. Do we get phone support or just email? That's a great question. We give you support on the phone, the email, the text messaging. Like I say, I really take a lot of pride in customer service, because I believe, as far as that's how businesses survive. If you want to make your business different from others, is give quality customer service. Because then people start to say, wow, I really like that place. I like those people. I was just, doing a webinar on that, and I was saying, you want to make your office different from any other? Give a high quality customer service. And we do that. Doctors are amazed. They're like, wow, guys, I can't believe you're that quick and you get on top of things all the time when, something comes up. So it's support in all those different ways. And like I say, we guarantee as far as the success of it for you. All right, that's all the questions. I want to thank you guys for being here. Again, check out the website, thelazydoctor.com. We have a lot of products on there, Facebook and social media. 4Point Social Media is just one of the things that we do, but we have a lot of other things that we do. But again, new patients are the most important thing. Mail at thelazydr.com is the email if you want to get in touch. And again, thanks for being here, and have a great day.